And we are back. What is going on? I got a question. I think we all have this question. And that question is, what the hell is Drake doing? The Iceman streams, I haven't even been watching them. I just go and scroll through and see what songs are getting previewed or whatever because it's just been super uneventful. And it hurts to say that because this album has like so much potential to be one of the most like best reinvigorations of someone's career ever. But I just don't see that happening. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what he's doing. I don't even know if he knows what he's doing. The optics of it are cool, good shots, things of that nature. But the music itself has been really, really dry. And I'm not sure why. It feels like he's holding himself back from something. So yeah, I used to be paid, just dropped a video about Drake and how he's scared to be Drake. I want to know what he means by that. If you haven't already, please like, please comment, please subscribe. People don't know this, but Drake used to be my favorite rapper. He was my favorite rapper at one point. It was a long time ago in middle school.
YouTube, it's Justice. I used to be Pay, and today I'm back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be telling you why it feels like Drake is afraid of being Drake. But before I get into that, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those things. We are 3 episodes into the Iceman live stream series. That is the rollout to Drake's next album, Iceman. And if we're looking at these live streams for just what they are as live streams, I think they've been actually really, really cool. I think the visuals for these streams have been amazing. The places that Drake's been going in,
I was saying the same thing. Optically, it's like appealing.
the camera work, like everything has been really, really cool aesthetically. And I've never seen Drake put in this much effort to a rollout, especially when it comes to something like this. Normally, you might get a billboard, you might get some ads on your phone, but never really anything this in depth, especially with some sort of artistic vision behind
Might get a heart inside of your hair as like a promotional haircut.
it. We're getting hidden messages that we're not going to know the answer to till the album comes out. We're getting Easter eggs, and obviously, like, Pinocchio has been one of the main themes of this entire series that is Iceman. So we don't really know what's going on there, but it's all very intriguing stuff. Yet, when we're talking about the music that has accompanied these live streams so far, it's nothing crazy. Like, it's pretty typical, regular Drake stuff. I like What I Missed. That was cool. It's not like a crazy lit song that I'm going to be playing and love. Like, it's all right.
After hearing What Did I Miss for the first time, that was something that made me think, okay, he's got something to start off the rollout. I thought it was just a teaser. And then hearing the songs after What Did I Miss be worse than What Did I Miss, and What Did I Miss already being mid to me personally, that's kind of what threw my hype for that project all the way down. It wasn't even the live streams, because the live streams, let's be real, the Drake live streams is kind of indicative of what his whole, not whole, but most of his career has been. Good optics, vibes, cool little aesthetics and things of that nature, appearing to be more than what it is under the surface. But when you look under the surface, it's not much there. It's just like a lot of his content within his career. It's got good optics to it, it's got good vibes to it, and on the surface level, it looks really, really deep and introspective, and like he's got some layers. But then when you peel back the layers, you don't see nothing there. So it's not really that surprising for me. I wish he would change that up, and maybe he will. Maybe the Pinocchios with the whole legacy and blood thing, or maybe it all comes together at some point. But I haven't been seeing it, and that's kind of worrisome.
Do actually really do like the Yeet song. The Yeet song is good, so I will give him that. That song is good. But overall, the level of effort being put into these live streams, the level of effort with the art really doesn't meet the level of effort in the music. The music just seems like it's regular old Drake stuff. And for a lot of
Yeah.
fans, that's been kind of disappointing when tuning into these streams where you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? What is this? What is? And then you get like a pretty generic Drake song to wrap things up, especially after Iceman episode 3, where a lot of people were expecting something huge. Now, part of this is the fault of like Drake fan pages on Twitter who were saying these crazy things. Oh my God, this episode's gonna be wild. Be on the lookout for this.
There's no worse fan page than a Drake fan page.
They were really gassing it up. And even somebody like What's the Dirt, who's a pretty big content creator who is like really a big fan of Drake, he was saying things like maybe the red button is gonna appear on episode 3. That red button that we've been talking about for like over a year now. And just for the record, I believe the red button was Family Matters.
I thought I was about to say, didn't the red button already pass? I thought the red button was either Family Matters or it was the Hard Part 6. But the Hard Part 6 was ass. Family Matters was good though. Family Matters, that was a good song. That was a good red button, I'm not gonna lie. But damn, Meet the Grams right after like really fucking stomped on it. I don't know. this red button talk kind of got to end. I'm ready for like a new thing, like usher in a new era, trying to like re-spark that part of the beef where like you got these little like symbols behind symbols and shit like that. I feel like that part of it is like dead. Like you got called a pedophile at the Super Bowl. I feel we can move on from like the subtle shit. And I think Drake's good at that. I think Drake's really good at being like right in your face when it comes to his disses. So I wouldn't mind more dissing. Just I feel like the whole marketing around it type shit with your Instagram has gotta go.
And that was a pretty good red button. I think that song, as
Yeah.
it existed, would have defeated like 95% of rappers in a rap battle. Just like Kendrick is that 5% that would have been ready for it and countered it perfectly. So I think that Family Matters was the red button for the record. But regardless, two of Drake's biggest fans, Academics and What's the Dirt, were left a bit disappointed after episode 3 of Iceman. They were just kind of like, is that it?
You know who else didn't like it? Kai didn't like it. And that's a lot coming from Kai, because Kai don't do that to nobody, especially not the big artists.
Is it over? What did I miss? Literally. What did I miss? Chat, what did I miss?
What did I miss? Literally.
But there isn't a lot of substance from Drake in the area that would most be important, which is the music. There's not a lot of real meat here yet. Like it's kind of like we're
Pause.
getting,
But yeah.
the icing from Drake. We're getting the toppings. We're getting sprinkles. We're getting a cherry. We're getting M&Ms. We're getting gummy bears. But there's no cake. It's clear that Drake was rattled by the events of 2024. Any rational person in his situation would have been. Yet he so badly wants us to believe that he's super, super cold-hearted. He's a tough guy that nothing bothers him. The whole world turned on me, but I'm Iceman. It don't matter. I'm Drake. And that's just not him. That's just not you, bro. And unfortunately for me,
That's just
Sean
not you,
C. already
bro.
put out an amazing analysis. He had a great take
Shout out to Sean C too. Great creators, man. There's some actual good black music content creators out there, but they're just far and few in between.
on Drake and his behavior over the last few weeks when it comes to this entire situation.
Like it's like somebody telling you that they not about to cry, but you see their eyes are welling up, and they trying to act like it's not like affecting them in any way, and it's okay for it to affect you. Talk about it. This is the medium in which you would talk about those types of things. But it's like
One thing that separated Drake from other rappers on his come up was his sensitivity.
The vulnerability aspect of his music has dropped so much to the point where it's almost like he's seen where the vulnerability got him, and I feel like he wanted more than what it got him. I don't understand that, because he got really, really high up by being vulnerable, but I guess it's like a case of more isn't enough sometimes. So I don't know where do you go past that? You know what I'm saying? What does shunning that side of you do for you? Because either way you slice it, they're gonna address the elephant in the room, and that you got bodied in the beef. Why still try to double down on the bravado when you can take a new route? Oh shoot. You ever had to sneeze that hurt your chest? Oh. But yeah, why double down on the bravado when that curtain's already been, we already pulled back the curtain on that. You feel me? He keeps trying to frame himself as the victim of failed of relationships and failed friendships, and when you have a long history of not being that great of a partner or friend. So it's like that route is kind of just it's a bit weird. It feels like gaslighting, like I'm being gaslit by an ex through this rapper's music, which is kind of unfortunate.
For better or for worse, Drake would rap about his feelings, even when it wasn't just anger or joy, which was kind of weird at the time. When he would rap about these issues with women, and it wouldn't be on some tough player shit. It was relatable to your average guy. He was a tender-hearted lover boy, letting it all out. We need that guy back, because clearly Drake's feelings were hurt by Kendrick. It was hurt by the people he thought were his friends, and it was hurt by the rap collective. I think that some of that constant bullying from people like Charlemagne, not saying Charlemagne in particular, but people like Charlemagne early in Drake's career, when they were calling him soft, saying he wasn't hip hop, he was too emotional, he was too sensitive.
Decipher who he was talking about. Drake's album is called Nothing Is the Same. He's a sensitive ass rapper, and he probably wears pajamas. I would say onesies.
All that stuff really did kind of stick in Drake's head. At least that's what it looks like.
Y'all seen the Dame Dash and Charlemagne interview? The Dame Dash Breakfast Club interview? Where Dame Dash just I think you're gay, straight up to Charlemagne's face. And Charlemagne just laughs it off. I'm sorry, I can't take no Charlemagne this seriously if I'm Drake. I feel like that shit shouldn't really get to you, but if it does, it does. We're all human.
He kind of started to...
He's wearing a plain purple shirt.
Because once he fully became
This nigga think he pure born. Oh my god.
the number one guy in rap, like no debate, he kind of started to portray himself a bit more as a tough guy. All of a sudden, he's mob ties and he's getting people touched and he's hanging out with Jay Prince and them. And
Oh, he was getting people touched, but I don't think they were a bit. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop.
it was kind of
Stop.
like he was so sick of
Let me
being
stop.
made fun of and played with that he kind of retired that sensitive character and sensitive person that he portrayed when he first got into the game. He still is seen as a sensitive guy because no matter what, you can't really fake who you are. So there'll be moments where he'll kind of overreact to something or go at someone that's a little bit extra, but he's not as outwardly expressive with his emotion in his music specifically like he used to be. Maybe when we fully get Iceman the project, we will have that emotional release from Drake where he's just getting stuff off his chest, his thoughts, his feelings, his emotions from that time period. Maybe he's just holding that to him right now and is going to release that later on, but we're just going off of what we have to go off of from what he's given us right now.
So that's what he means by Drake's afraid to be Drake. He's afraid to be open and honest and vulnerable through his art. Okay.
Drake in this situation really does have a victim mentality in regard to what happened over the last year. So
he does.
he feels like the entire world like conspired against him to take him down, but he won't just be fully genuine with how he feels about it. Like it's like he's kind of like that one like really, really bad kid or like bad cousin where like maybe they're jumping up and down on the couch and you're like, hey man, you're not supposed to be jumping on that couch. Like relax before you hurt yourself or you break something. And they like, whatever. And they keep jumping up and down on the couch and then they hit their head or whatever. And they kind of look at you. You know how kids get hurt and they look at you, they give you this look where he's about to cry, but he knows like, I just got told not to do this, so now I can't cry. That's kind of how Drake is moving right now. As a
Yeah,
result,
like them cousins that got the silver teeth in the back. And it's not just one or two, it's like three in the back. One is gold over here for some reason. Zero guard haircut with the stubble. And every time they grow hair, it's always beady beads. Those are the badass kids, boy, I swear.
you were wearing a smoking bullet hole hoodie when you were performing. It's
Oh,
okay
nah.
to acknowledge that this stuff, affected you. He's entering a lawsuit against Universal Music Group, one of the top artists in the world. Suing a top 3 label in the music industry is wild stuff. That's crazy.
Isn't Kendrick under them too? So it's like, damn, Ben Staples was right about this whole thing, bro. We got two black men going at each other. Meanwhile, the white folks that own it, the white folks of a certain demographic that own it are making all the money from it. Ben Staples, he's him. If you never seen that clip, you could find it somewhere. But Ben Staples talked about his pain on the beef.
He might not want to speak on that in specifics about what's going on because he might jeopardize certain things. I get that. But at least speak on the mentality of that because that's nuts. Drake suing UMG, one of the most powerful conglomerations probably in America right now, is nuts. That's crazy. Especially because of the relationship that Drake and UMG seemed to have just a few years ago. He loved his label. Lucien would talk about how Drake has no budget. Whatever Drake asked for, it was like he was Lucien's favorite son, bruh. Other artists had even acknowledged how good the relationship between Drake and UMG at least appeared to be. Kanye used to say that Lucien Grange was Drake's rich baby daddy.
Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucien and Universal.
And that Drake,
Yo, I miss Kanye, bro. Like, genuinely.
and now again, it's early into the rollout, so I might be jumping the gun. We might get more information on this. We might understand how Drake feels about the label when we fully get to the album. I'm just saying right now, it's kind of like, damn, bro, like there's a 50-foot elephant in the room. And we just gonna move past that? We just gonna ignore that? Like, I would love to hear about the mental state and the mental preparation that it took to go up against probably one of the biggest and most powerful conglomerates in like the American economy, damn near.
I'm not gonna lie, we're not gonna hear about that. And the reason why we're not gonna hear about it is because there's no legs under it. Like, he doesn't really have, there's no real way of flipping that into like a fly ass rap or like a fly ass like whatever. Like, because like we know the reason behind it. Like, you didn't have any problems with what Universal was doing when you were the main and sole beneficiary of it within your lane of music, But as soon as it's time to like be on the other end of it, and this is only just social wise or optic wise too, because he's still making hella money from them. When you're on the other side of it though, from the whole Kendrick beef, it's like I have nothing to talk about of how I was gearing up for that like war or how I was preparing myself to enter that kind of situation or dispute, because the cause of it, the thing it's based around, is very unflattering to me. And if we have learned anything from this, current version of Drake, anything that's not flattering to him, he is against. He's in the IG model, the bad bit that you fly out kind of mind frame where everything's got to be, everything's kind of got makeup over it when it comes to Drake. There's no more authenticity. He's making these hollow, surface level, like minimal connections with people that are of, certain cultures just to appeal to whoever is around. And I don't know why he hasn't learned from that from the beginning, but that's kind of what got him into the situation in the first place, is you doing that in the beginning of your career, or like the infancy of your superstardom. You did it with Atlanta, when you did it with Memphis, when you did it with UK, when you did it with Jamaica, like when you did it with all these things. That's kind of what gave so much ammo and fuel for the critiques that were used against you in this, this battle that you just lost. Well, this war that you just lost. And it's literally happening again. It's just in a whole different way. So rather than it be like a musical way where I'm just, benefiting from working with other, demographics, or making my identity synonymous with these cultures, like say Atlanta street culture or UK grime culture or whatever. Instead of me doing that, now I'm trying to like attach my identity to things on the internet, because I see the internet is that's the new streets. That's the new validation that you get from your audience. So it's like now all of a sudden I'm BFFs with Aiden Ross because I know his demographic's gonna fuck with me. I'm doing the Bobby Altop thing for a second time because I know there's a whole group of people under Bobby watching Bobby that don't give a fuck about a country beef, they don't give a fuck about a Hot 16, they don't give a fuck about what they're talking about on the Joe Budden podcast, or how they look at me. And I could benefit off that, not monetarily wise, but like in the social economy of the internet space. Now I have a good amount of numbers, a new demographic to defend me and comment and to push narratives for me, because Drake's cool, he did this thing with Bobby. And I think that's just more fuel to a new fire that could hit him in the near future, if I'm being honest. Everything just looks really performative. I shouldn't be surprised because we've seen it before. You would hope that somebody would learn from that, but here we are.
I'm going to say it again for the Drake fans who are going to try and kill me for this video. I understand that it's early. I understand that, he hasn't given us everything, but when we're looking at what we have so far musically, it just doesn't match the level of effort that he's putting in on the rollout. Drake went and got a CDL to drive down Toronto, and we're just getting, regular Drake stuff at the moment. Like, this stuff sounds like this could have been...
Did he have to get a CDL license to do that, I wonder? You got the time and money to do it, so I'm just wondering.
For All the Dogs Again, or CLB2. The reason people love Drake's music, and I mean the real fans, not just, the people who like One Dance and God's Plan, is because of the feeling that it gives them when they listen to the music. Because not a lot of rappers will be totally 100% vulnerable in the way that they feel, even if they come off as soft. And we all have those moments as people, especially us regular people who aren't street guys or aren't tough dudes. You go, like Drake trying to move away from that and trying to kind of put a wall up to seem unbothered and act like he's fine and he's just, he's Teflon and all that. It's like taking away his superpowers.
That's facts. I'm gonna be completely honest. This is gonna sound like self-glaze, but one of the reasons I really, really loved Drake's music, like in my soul and my chest, was because it felt like I was talking to like a future version of myself, if that makes sense. Like when he talked about certain like difficulties that he was having with life, certain things that were bothering him, that were on his chest, even things with like girls and stuff like that, it felt like I was hearing about things like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have these problems too, because like I just always saw myself like by the time I'm his age, I'm gonna be super successful. I'm gonna have to deal with fake people around me. I'm gonna have to deal with women trying to use me. I'm gonna have to deal with being a sensitive person in unsensitive environments. And it wasn't like a conscious thing, like, oh, I'm gonna go to him for this, but like that's kind of like over time, that's kind of what I started to realize about how I connected with it, because it did feel relatable. But since I'm so much younger than him, it wasn't stuff that I was gonna be able to like fathom as like a 14-year-old or a 13-year-old or even 12 and 11-year-old for if you're reading this, is too late. And now I feel like when I listen to him, I'm hearing from somebody that like I'm hearing from like one of those uncles, the basketball court that says what they could have been. But in a weird way, he's already successful. So it's like, why does it still feel like I'm hearing from someone that's not? I don't know. It's weird. Like, I know he's successful. I know he's doing great in life. But when I'm hearing him talk about it, it doesn't feel fulfilling. I don't feel like I'm hearing from a real person anymore. I feel like I'm hearing from like a poster board of a lifestyle that I'm not supposed to ever have access to. It doesn't feel like someone trying to, actually be a human within their work. And that's just me though.
Because that's what Drake came up off of. It's almost like if Steph Curry was listening to all the haters who were telling him in his comment section, bro, you wouldn't be anything without shooting threes. All you do is jack up threes, bro. You're not even that good at driving the ball. All you do is jack up threes. And the next season, Steph Curry stops shooting threes and starts driving to the rim every play and trying to do everything but shoot threes. You just completely handicapped yourself for no reason but to, I don't know, like not get hate for being good at what you're good at. Like, that doesn't even make sense. This might seem kind of crazy to use as an example, but
True.
we've all been seeing the Young Thug situation over the last really few months, but it's
Don't remind me. Don't remind me, bro. I really hope he makes something good with this album.
and everyone has been on his head. Like, they've been roasting Young Thug. They've been killing this man on the internet for the last few days especially, but really like the last few months. And, everyone's been telling Young Thug, just be quiet. Please shut up. Please stop talking. And then he goes on to do an interview, funny enough. But when looking at that interview, I honestly think that might have been the right move. Now,
That was a
people are
good
still
interview.
roasting Young Thug. They're still making fun of him.
If we go to prison for the rest of our life,
Whoop-de-doo.
They're still watching that interview and saying, bro, you contradicted yourself here. You didn't make sense when you said this. This was stupid when you said that. They're still like poking holes in what he's saying. But I think that he came off so raw and so passionate that people at least are trying to understand where he's coming from rather than just completely downing him every single second of talking about this situation.
That's
Now
true.
you're actually getting people going from Thug's point of view and being like, well, I understand this. I understand that. I understand why he would feel so passionate about his friends. I understand why he kept going at Gunna because he feels like he's done so much for Gunna. And like, people are actually starting to rationalize what Young Thug has been trying to get across in these five word tweets where he's just saying, if you're not a rat, go gospel, and if you do this, they're trying to actually understand where he's coming from. They're actually humanizing his point of view rather than just seeing, a bunch of words on a screen from Young Thug or maybe some words on a screen from a Young Thug fan page. Actually seeing him talk about it and seeing his eyes and seeing where he's really coming from, the bass in his voice, the heart in his, the heart and what he's saying. It made people at least humanize Thug. And maybe they still are anti-Thug. Maybe they're still going against him. Maybe they still think he's wrong for this, this, and this. But they can at least sit down and understand where Young Thug's coming from on a human level.
I think Thug had a genuine desperation to make it clear more than anything else. Fuck the music, fuck the memes, fuck what everyone's saying about me. I gotta come on this platform as a man and reestablish my standing as a real nigga more than anything else, because he kept emphasizing that within the interview. And it was a great interview, by the way. The guy named Big Bank, I think his name is, who interviewed him, did a great job. I feel like he had an emotional connection with Thug and the whole situation itself, but even with Gunna too, and he made sure to emphasize the emotional human aspect. And even in the beginning asked, when is the first time you felt betrayed? And I want to talk to Jeffrey before Jeffrey was Young Thug. I don't think Drake has that same desperation, that same eternal yearning to, no matter what no matter what the outcome is, no matter how I'm seen, I'm gonna make it clear that this is who I am, this is who I'm standing on. Because Drake's whole shtick has always been his ability to be a chameleon within whatever's going on within the rap game, culturally, whatever. That's never been like Young Thug's thing. Young Thug's always been someone who's like stands very much on his own and influences from that standpoint of me being, I'm gonna wear this dress, I'm gonna say I got the break on my break, I'm gonna do whatever, like I'm gonna stand on my own. It's a very different personality within a similar situation,
No, the interview didn't completely fix his PR. It's not over. Everyone doesn't love Young Thug again, but I think that the
Yeah.
heat that was on him beforehand is actually a bit lessened after.
And I get it. If you still got questions for Young Thug, you still think he on some weird shit, I understand. I can't blame you.
We now have Thug's point of view. We now have his perspective. We now understand why he feels the way he feels and why he moves the way he moves. And I think that unironically, that would be good for Drake as well. People are going to roast Drake regardless.
Exactly.
Whether he's addressing the situation, they're going to say, oh, he's still butthurt. Oh my God, Drake. Blah, blah. Or they're going to say, wow, bro, he's so scared of addressing the situation. Bro's trying to hide the fact that it's bothering him. Bro still won't even talk about it. Oh my gosh, bro, he's just trying to avoid it. Either way, people are going to talk about Drake in this situation regardless, no matter how he handles it. But I just feel like in order to get people understanding Drake again, because I don't think that a majority of rap fans want to hate Drake. I think they want him to see the error in what they believe he's done wrong and kind of address that. And if not, at least face it head on. Face it head on. Because, again, a majority of people don't want to see him fail. Most fans in rap still love Drake. They still love his music. He still gets a lot of love. So it's not like he just needs to shut off the entire world and be like, F all y'all, because that's not how most people feel. Most people don't really want to see Drake fail. They want great music. And the way that he can give us great music is by being real. And I want to finish this video off by saying I understand why.
And if you don't want to address it no more, you don't want to talk about it, then just move the fuck on, bro. Don't act like people are dragging it when you keep bringing it up as well within these little like straw man argument kind of ways. Like you're just setting yourself up to be asked about it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna move on, then really move on, bro. You know what I'm saying? And make some good quality shit. Have an artistic vision and commit to it so we could like buy into that. We can move on from it. Like I just feel like you can't do both. You can't be mad at the other side for dragging it, quote unquote, when you are also trying to bring it up and recontextualize it as much as you can when you bring it up. But when someone else brings it up, they're the ones dragging it. Just choose one, bro. Either commit or don't commit. But the in-between shit not really gonna work.
And I want to finish this video off by saying I understand why Drake wouldn't want to express himself. It's not a secret. He's been ridiculed his entire career for expressing himself, whether it was the hairstyle he chose, whether it was what he was talking about in his songs, whether it was him singing, being emotionally vulnerable, talking about women, you know, painting his nails, whatever Drake has
Getting dubbed by Rihanna, getting dubbed by Nicki Minaj.
done has been ridiculed to an enormous degree. So it's not ridiculous. I understand it. But when we're talking about the music, if we're looking to unlock Drake to his highest ability as an artist, because he is a great artist when he wants to be, that comes with that emotion. That's what it comes with. It's no secret into what like makes Drake tick. There's no secret into being like, how do we get Drake making that great music again? It's just a leap of faith from Drake to be open. He has to let that nerdy kid from Toronto who wore his heart on his sleeve, who sung in his music, who was a rap and hip hop nerd, he has to let that guy out. That's really all it is. It's not a secret. It's not a mystery. It's not an investigation that needs to be done. It's letting that nerdy kid from Toronto who's super passionate about music and wears his heart on his sleeve, it's letting that guy grab the microphone again and just be open. But who knows? Maybe Drake is going to do that on Iceman. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. But I'm just saying right now, it feels like Drake is scared of being Drake. That is who Drake is. That's why we love Drake.
W video. Yep. That is why we love Drake. The we that we're talking about that love this version of Drake actually like music. We actually like art. We actually, you know, we want to see both sides just make good music. But the Drake stans don't like that. You know what I'm saying? The Drake stans like anything that Drake does. You feel me? Drake stans, they use Drake as more of an outlet to live through. They don't use his music in a way where it's like, oh yeah, I really like this because of this hook or because of the way he sings this or the way he says that. Every time he does something, oh, this is a win against this person, this is a win against that person, this is why he's the best, this is why he's better than everybody else. But they can't really tell you what they enjoy about the song. They can't really tell you what they enjoy about the album. They can't really tell you why what you're saying doesn't make sense when you express that you don't like the album. You know what I'm saying? Everything is really about getting that little internal win for some reason, even if it has nothing to do with them for real. I don't know. I don't really get it. But then again, I'm very different. I just like music. So, but hey, man, please like, please comment, please subscribe. Every with me on platforms. I'm dropping more reactions, more videos, more content on the way. I appreciate anyone for tuning in, for commenting, for subscribing, for anything, man. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a blessed one. Catch you in the next one. Peace.